Good afternoon. Welcome to Market Wrap number 189. This week, Rishi Sunak considers a radical plan for 99% mortgages to get first-time buyers into the marketplace. The government is considering a radical scheme to help first-time buyers by guaranteeing their mortgages, which would require just 1% deposit from them. The Prime Minister and the Chancellor are contemplating a bold plan to appeal to, and I quote, young voters struggling to get onto the property ladder, according to the independent newspaper. The government sources said a Treasury-backed scheme to help generation rent is one of the ideas that's going to be announced on the 6th of March at the budget. It's one of several big ideas, other ones being the abolition of inheritance tax and longer-term mortgages. So there's a lot going on, but what do you think of that then? This audacious measure would be a significant extension of the government's previous Help to Buy scheme, which saw Britons able to purchase new build developments with only 5% deposits. Banks and building societies still typically require deposits of at least 10 to 25% at the moment, sums which young renters will not be able to come up with because they're struggling to save in this cost of living crisis situation. But by backing lenders to create 99% loans to value mortgages involving these 1% deposits, it would mean many renters could buy a home with a deposit of just a few £1,000s. If you're trying to buy the average home in the UK, for example, £290,000, they would pay a deposit of $2,900 under this new scheme. But some property experts warned against the idea of 1% deposits, arguing it could overheat the market and inflate house prices. Jonathan Rowland, who's founder of the National Association of Property Buyers, warned that such a short-term political fix would fuel demand but do little to increase the supply of new properties. He went on to say, in the short term, it may produce a honeymoon period where some people could get onto the ladder and vote for Conservatives, therefore, that's my comment, not his, and they're very happy. But giving people money to go out and buy, it means they're all competing with each other for the same limited number of homes, so it will push up prices. In a few years' time, we're back to the same problems, a shortage of housing. Mr. Rowland went on to say that the bigger problem was that of supply of new homes had tailed off in recent years, i.e. not building them anymore, because of planning constraints, lack of will, NIMBYs, not in my backyard, as well as the cost of materials rising and the cost of living crisis. Now, Labour's Deputy Leader, Angela Rayner, said the Tory government had completely failed to address the supply of affordable homes or lift a finger to reform our broken planning system, which has forced a generation of young people to give up on the dream of home ownership. The dream of home ownership, one of my sons is in his 30s. He's got no intention of buying. He'd rather buy a big TV. I mean, I think the dream of home ownership for a lot of people is not a dream at all. They don't want to get onto the ladder. It's a changing social situation in the UK. That's my own view. When she was asked about the Tory proposal for 1% deposits, the senior Labour figure told The Independent, the truth of this issue is that you can't have a serious housing policy without a real plan to drive up supply. And the Labour Party's got that, have they? The Liberal Democrats Treasury spokesperson Sarah Not-Only said that it beggars belief for the Tories to try and make home ownership an election issue after they had sent mortgage rates spiralling. Ms Olney was referring to the disastrous mini-budget by Liz Truss and Kwasi Kwarteng in September 2022, which sent shockwaves through the financial system and is said to have cost the UK $30 billion. I didn't realise that was the case. The Independent therefore understands major lenders are wary of the 1% deposit idea because of the increased risk of defaults and repossessions. The government would have to underwrite a large part of this mortgage to cover any of these losses. So it looks like the government will be footing the bill to make it easier for people to do things, which is a common theme in the UK government today. Now, while 99% mortgages would help in the battle to find enough for a deposit, it would not also address the first-time buyers passing an affordability test for their monthly payments, i.e. can they afford to make the payments on this loan? Unlikely. Rishi Sunak is struggling to win support among younger adults. Only 10% of voters under the age of 50 intend to vote Conservative at the next general election, with 60% backing Labour. Sounds very much to me as a case of vote for us, we're going to help you out, when really nothing's been put into it, thought been put into it. So going forward, what we're going to have, according to the next budget, 1% mortgages, 40-year loans, fixed. That could be a view of the future. Thank you. Do like, subscribe. APW Market Wrap, Stuart Williamson. Bye-bye.